Can you turn that down some? Can you turn it down some? Thank you. The Village of Lincoln Heights Committee of the Whole is now in session. Today's date is Monday, April 12th, 2021. The time is 6:37. Roll call, Ms. Randolph.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumfree.
Present.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Present.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Present.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Present.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Present.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell. Ms. Mitchell,
Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
you're muted.
Yes.
Thank you. And Councilman Daronce Daniels. Okay, no response from Mr. Daniels. And we do have 6 who are present. We do have a quorum.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay, is there any old business? Okay. There's no old business, then we're gonna go into new business. I wanted to share with council a letter of support request that I had received. And it's from Miss Ariel Miller. It's the request for a letter of support for the village for the Episcopal grant proposal for environmental studies. And I had received the email Friday afternoon. And it's and what she's basically is what they're basically asking us to support a grant request for environmental studies of lead and other toxic metals and harmful sound exposures from the Cincinnati Police Firing Range, and for associated ideas to equip the community to protect children's mental health and development. And so I did want to let Ms. Mitchell, who was instrumental on reaching out to the Episcopal Church regarding this grant proposal, I did want to let her elaborate on that a little bit. But it's a support. They're not asking for any monies from the village. They just want our support for them to get the grant. Yes, Ms. Mitchell?
Well, Mayor, the Vice Mayor had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't have my hand up. I had my head turned away. Yes, ma'am.
No, Miss Mitchell, you might answer my questions. I just wanted more explanation. Go right ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so this has a creation care grant that is focusing on environmental racism. And Ariel was very concerned about everything that was going on. She was impressed with all of the activity around trying to eliminate it from next to the village of Lincoln Heights. So this grant will do quite a bit. The grant you can get anywhere from $15,000 to $40,000, and it will include taking samples of the soil, the air in Lincoln Heights, and then I suggested Woodlawn. So they'll do both communities to see what those levels are, to see what kind of impact it had on health or stress of individuals living there. And so part of the grant will be a survey that they will take to find out what people feel about it. There's going to be mental health aid training where people will be trained, those individuals, I guess as it's written in the grant, who care for children, whether you're a parent, a guardian, foster parent, any teacher, coach. So they will be part of it. Also, a part of it is to train some youth counselors to work with the children on a summer camp. And so we're looking for where to have the summer camp for children, so it's what's called a peace camp. So it will deal with conflict resolution. It will deal with how to identify when you feel that mentally you aren't able to handle it. Other pieces include, the analysis that the individuals from the University of Cincinnati, Dr. Carson, will be doing. The Heights movement will do the survey and help the students do the survey. There's also a component to build in citizen science so that children at elementary school can get involved in it. It may involve going to a lab to see how things are done there with the sampling. So it's somewhat extensive. And the other part about it is that in order to get the grant, it has to be administered by an Episcopal entity. So that's where St. Simon's comes in. If the grant is awarded, we will receive the money and we will administer the grant. For the survey, there'll be, try to do get 200 people to participate, which is $15 gift certificate will be given. So there's a lot of components to it. And there's a piece in there, what they want the village to do is to report out on what the progress is on eliminating the firing range, which means that all of the Episcopal entities like St. Simon's, Ascension Holy Trinity, Christ Church Glendale, and the Sisters of the Transfiguration will be brought into it to listen to what's going on with the firing range and how else that the Episcopal churches can become involved. So that's about it in a nutshell. So if you would like any pieces of it, I can copy it. I'll mark it confidential and draft and send it out to you. I mean, it's still in this rough draft. It has to be finalized and sent in by the 16th. Mayor, you muted.
Yes, Vice Mayor.
So the deadline is the 16th of April,
Mhm.
this Friday?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
How soon can you get that confidential thing to?
Oh, I mean, I can try to get it to you at least by tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Is there any other questions from council? Yes, Councilwoman Key.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Mitchell, for the information.
Yes,
Sounds
ma'am.
very, very interesting. So I just want to make sure that, I think you said it at the very end, St. Simon will be the lead applicant for the grant.
Yes, we will be submitting it, and if it's awarded, it has to be an Episcopal organization. Didn't have to be a church, but we have an organization called ACTS that stands for Ascension Holy Trinity, Christ Church, Glendale, the Transfiguration, and St. Simon's. And this is the organization that started the Habitat for Humanity, and we did some other things some years ago. And it's just a part of the outreach of the Valley Episcopal churches.
Got it.
So it just made sense for them to have us do it since we're in Lincoln Heights.
Got it. So Madam Mayor, can I ask the
Yes.
second? Thank you.
Sure can.
So just two more things. I'm more interested in the final application. So if the village offers a lot of support, if you can just share that out, just because I'm more interested in what they're looking from council or from the administration, from the village perspective. I know you said just report out, but what does that mean specifically? That's all I was just interested in, to see what they will write into the grant that says that we're responsible for, just to make sure that we're holding up our end of what we're supporting.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Mitchell? Okay, I do
I do have a
want to,
question, Mayor. So
yes, go ahead.
do we just give a verbal, or do we need something? How does this work?
So basically, I just do a support letter. They've already sent me a draft of the support, and we put our letterhead on and I sign off on it and we give that to them. And then I'll also give you all a copy like we did our previous support letter. So you all will get that tomorrow as well. I did not want to sign anything until I brought it to council, so you know what has been asked of us.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I think, also what would make sense is when we get under new business at the regular council meeting, I think this is the first item under new business. If you could ask for a motion for authorizing you to sign a letter of support on behalf of Lincoln Heights for the grant application. I think procedurally that would take care of whatever we need to do to provide the proper documentation or minutes that it was an authorized letter of support.
Mr. Decide then, just so everybody knows, so I will recuse myself on that simply because as senior warden of St. Simon, I have to send a support letter as well, and we'll be sending in that, so I will recuse myself. We don't get anything personal out of it. I mean, actually, we are putting in some match money, the Episcopal churches in the Valley, but just to avoid any appearances of conflict of interest, I'll recuse myself.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, I do have one additional question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and this is to Councilwoman Mitchell. Once and this is the same question that I asked when UC came to present. Once the samples are selected or collected and we have our results, does the Episcopal organization have a plan for any work with remediation if there is necessary, or what is the second phase, or is there a second phase, or what's the thoughts behind that? Because like we talked about before, this could really be very alarming. And if we're not prepared for what happens on the other end of it after the results are delivered, then I think that kind of puts us in a precarious situation. So just trying to think through that step, or have they thought through that, or what is some of their thoughts?
It has been somewhat thought through, because again, it depends on what the survey may say, and what comes out of some of the camps. But we have asked the Healthcare Connection to participate in it as a partner as well. And so it does ask for a licensed clinical social worker to be involved with the mental health training. And so let's say that we find that there are some individuals who feel that they're traumatized. Well, then we're thinking that you go to the health district, the Hamilton County Health District, to say, hey, how do we do this? If there's some other mental stress behind it, that's a referral system that we can build into it through the Healthcare Connection, because we do have someone there who does work with behavioral issues. So those type of things. So it's still sort of coming together, but we'll massage it. Once we get the grant, we'll massage it as necessary. So yes, so there has been some thought around, okay, we find that this is happening or this may happen, then how do we get to the next stage to give them help? And so that's where we're looking at referrals and things like that.
Thank you. So that organization is planned or is looking at the next phase.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, because that was one of my questions too, Tanya, like what are going to be the measurable outcomes? And the measurable outcomes are more qualitative than quantitative. Yeah, we want 200 surveys done. We're going to have maybe 50 kids in the camp who will be able to do da-da-da-da-da. We'll hire 5 camp counselors up at Proctor Farm, but it's more qualitative outcomes that we're looking for.
Okay, thank you.
Vice Mayor Stenson.
So yes, I'll make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign a support letter for the Episcopal grant proposal for environmental study with St. Simon and Acts.
Well,
Yeah.
you can
So
just
we'll
say,
do it.
that's fine, but put in creation care.
Okay, you blinked out. That was my, yeah, I was practicing. Creation care.
Okay. So, Mr. Desai, we could do that at miscellaneous business without having to amend the agenda. What do you think about that? Or do we have to have it listed that way? Because it's not listed as new business on the,
Oh, I thought it was listed on the council agenda.
not on the regular, not on the amended one, no. So,
Are you going to have any discussion of it at the council meeting to explain to the public what the grant is about and purpose of the
should.
support letter?
yeah, we should,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine since miscellaneous business comes immediately after item 12 new business. I think it rolls into that pretty nice. Let's just do that as our first item of miscellaneous business. So Jeannie, before anyone else can speak, jump in there with that motion, okay?
At 13, okay.
Yeah, 13
Okay.
miscellaneous business under the regular council meeting agenda.
Okay, so you want to talk about it before she makes the motion, right?
Well, she'll make the motion, then you'll hopefully have a second, and then you can ask for discussion, and then you can
Okay.
explain it.
That sounds good. Okay. All right. I did want to mention when Miss Mitchell was talking about the camp. So it does list among the possibilities for the summer camp in 2022 or St. Monica's, Lincoln Heights Missionary Baptist Church, Teakin Farm in Mount Healthy, and Episcopal Diocese Proctor Conference Center. So those were the locations that they're, I guess, talking about having the camp at. So I just wanted to mention that. And then also that they're saying that the scientists are donating their expertise. So the major project expense, including testing supplies, lab analysis, $75 per person for mental health, first aid training, 100 people, and stipends for camp counselors. So it does mention, and when we get the additional information, it will list that as well. So I did want to thank Ms. Ariel Miller, which is the outreach co-chair for the Ascension and is it Ascension and Holy
Yeah,
Trinity?
Ascension Holy Trinity.
Okay, and that's in Wyoming, in case council wanted to have that information where Ms. Miller was from. Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, if there's nothing further with that, then we're going to go into resolution number 2021 R4. Resolution awarding Stephen Avenue and McIntyre Street improvement project to Barrett Paving Materials. So I'm going to probably have Ms. Powdrill speak on each one of the resolutions. And if anyone has questions for that, she will be available to answer that. Ms. Powdrill, did you want to elaborate?
Only that these two projects were bidded, I think, prior to me coming to the village, and they had the bid opening in the village on Thursday, March 11th. And we had total of four bids were submitted, ranging in the amounts of $268,643.75 to $309,351.66. All the bids were received in conformance with all contract requirements and tabulated, and I have the tabulations if you want to see that. The winner of the bids was John R. Jurgensen, and the other one, Barrett, I think, is the other contractor, won the other contract for the two street improvements.
Okay, so Barrett would be the one that's they have on here. for the 2021 R4. That's the resolution regarding the Barrett paving materials. And the next resolution is 2020 R5. That's a resolution awarding Matthews Drive and Taylor Court improving project, and that goes to John R. Jurgensen. So is there any questions regarding both of those two improvement projects to those streets? Any questions from council?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't have a question, but I wanted to kind of bring something up that I think, I'm not sure, I'm reading it said that Barrett paving materials had done some work before. I'm trying to remember who did the work on McGee. Do we remember what company did the work on McGee? Because it sounds like I remember having some issues with them initially. I think it had something to do with providing a place for them to be able to use the restroom. They were coming into Village Hall, kind of walking in with tracking dirt and things around. And there was I just remember there was some discussion. Does anybody recall who that was? Or
I don't recall who it was, but I don't think it was Barrett.
Okay, good.
That may have been the individuals that were doing, I guess, in the polls, the water company, maybe. I don't.
No,
I'm
it
not
was McGee.
sure.
It was whoever
McGee.
it was whoever did McGee, because they didn't provide porta potty or portalets for their employees.
Well, Ms. Pope should know.
Ms. Pope is online. Maybe she could help. Pope, do you recall?
McGee was before my time. I don't know who did McGee.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just making the observation to make sure that we're covering all of those bases before work is beginning. Because I see they're saying, we've had, I'm sure all the companies have had some success in the work, but it seems like I recall having some sort of issues with one particular company at one time. Thank you. That was it.
Okay. All right. The next one, if there's nothing further regarding the streets, the next one will be the resolution number R 2021 R6, resolution posing a moratorium on the sale of village-owned real estate. Powdrill.
Thank you, Mayor. This resolution came to have property that we have, a property we have sell. And I took this request to the Economic Development Committee, and we discussed it in the Economic Development Committee. And what came out of the committee is that we believe that until we can get a final on land use study for the village and market study, we think that it would be in the best interest of the village until we put a moratorium on the sale of land owned. At time, the Economic Committee will come back to the village and let our council know when we are ready to lift that moratorium.
Any questions? Councilman Daniels?
So just from my understanding, this pretty much just makes it official. Because I know we haven't really been selling anything. So this is just like just makes it official, correct? I was real, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. I was wondering
Mayor, if I could just add, to Mr. Daniels' question. So anytime we're going to sell property of the village, it would have to come before council for consideration. I think one of the experiences we've had, over the last year or two is that we will not infrequently get asked by a buyer to purchase village property. And, it couldn't be sold without it being in front of council, but there's always we're not ready to sell it because we haven't quite gotten done with our land study. So this will provide a policy statement by council that will enable the village manager to say, as of right now, the village's policy is not to be selling any real estate until we complete our land study, and not have to come to council every time there's a question about that.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Mitchell, did you have your hand up? I thought I saw your hand.
I did, but Mr. Desai sort of cleared it up for me because, I mean, we can't sell land. The manager can't sell anything unless we authorize her to sell it. So I was just wondering what was the need for the moratorium if we can't sell it unless we agree. But if you're saying just to eliminate the ask, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, and also to make sure that people don't feel like we're playing favorites. It's not that we don't want to sell to party A versus party B. We don't want to sell to party C either. It's just right now we're in a state where we're trying to come up with a comprehensive land use plan, and that does not lend itself to selling individual pockets of property.
All right. Yes, Vice Mayor.
What are we gonna say when they say, well, when do you think it'll open back up? When they ask a time, what do we say?
Indefinite.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, the land use study, the timeline for completion of the land use studies is within the next 6 months. So as a general, 6 months from now is the best that I can give.
So would it be safe to say to a year and before it goes back up for review?
That can be, yes, that's fine, Madam.
Madam
Okay.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I think at a committee, we wanted to stay away from times because anything could happen. But I hear what Vice Mayor is saying, because we did discuss it and we thought we would leave it until the land use plan or market study is completed, then we can lift it. And so at that point, I think I'm hearing Vice saying that we would revisit it in committee to decide to lift the moratorium. Is that what I'm hearing you saying? Or you want to give the residents a time limit?
I'm saying I've gotten 2 phone calls since we've had this discussion about property, and all I can say is we're waiting for some results from, I forgot, a survey. I think I told somebody, it was, one person was a relative, so I didn't really lie. I said it's gonna be 6 months to at least a year.
Mhm.
I did. They asked, both of them, they asked. So I wanted to say something.
Right. And Madam Mayor, I just think that's fair. We when we discussed it in committee, because I had gotten approached as well from several people, and it's like, okay, instead of fielding all the questions, go this route. And then when we lift it, just basically saying, when it's lift, village manager will let us know what properties are available for sale or how they're available for sale. So the language that's here, I was okay with it from the perspective of economic development. And at the time, committee was okay with it as well. So, and I agree. And I think we're all going to continue to get requests for property and for land just because we're making some movements, and it makes sense. So.
Yeah, because I think we all get those phone calls. I think I've referred someone to Ms. Powdrill about 2 weeks ago, and I was like, hey, I don't know. I just know that economic development is going on, and we have some pillars that we're trying to reach and goals. And so I just would say refer them to Ms. Powdrill if you have any residents that are inquiring. Inquiring minds want to know. All right, thank you. All right, let's see. Next would be resolution number 2021 R7, resolution accepting grant proceeds from United Way to use for renting tools from the tool bank for community cleanup projects and appropriating the grant funds. Ms. Powdrill.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. In partnership with GE Aviation and their volunteers, the village had a plan together to clean up the lots over an 8-week period. When we went to, and this cleanup project will require a lot of use the tool bank. It is a cost to rent the tools. That amount exceeded what was available for us to pay for the tools to rent. United Way was so gracious to extend to us a grant to do that. The way to facilitate the tools is to make a credit to the tool bank, and then we could spend down from that account to rent tools from the tool bank. So Doc has set up a fund account for that expenditure of $5,000 that we will be receiving from United Way to benefit over an 8-week period during the summer. Does anyone have any questions?
Vice Mayor.
My only question is, I don't know if it's my computer or what, but I can't hear you. I can't hear Ms. Powdrill. She keeps going in and out. And I was like, am I the only one that hears that?
No, it's going
I
in
know
and
that when
out.
you turn your camera off, like Daronce said, we can hear you better. I'm sorry, I didn't hear
Yeah.
you.
Would you like for me to turn my camera? Would you like for me to turn my
You're so
camera off and I
beautiful,
repeat
but
what I
yes,
said?
in order
Would that
to
be
hear
helpful?
you.
Well, you still can see my beautiful face. Hold on just a moment. Okay. So in partnership with GE Aviation and their volunteers, is that better?
Much
Yes,
better.
much
Okay,
better.
great. The Village of Lincoln Heights is going to do an 8-week lot cleanup on various lots within the village. In order to do that, we needed to have quite a bit of tools available for the volunteers to use while we do the lot cleanup. When we put that amount together, what those tools would cost, it would cost around $5,000 to pay for those tools over an 8-week period. That was not appropriated in our budget, but United Way was so gracious enough to say, yes, we will cover it for the village. And the way that they're doing it is to grant the funds to the Cincinnati Tool Bank, and then we will spend down from our account at the Cincinnati Tool Bank. So as we get tools from the tool bank, we will begin to reduce the $5,000 grant that we received at the tool bank. This should also, we'd like to get like a container if we can, to kind of put on site. So when the volunteers do come, we'll have the tools there right there available for them over the 8-week period. Does anybody have questions?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, Ms. Mitchell.
So when we talk about the cleanup projects, is this for total village, or is this meaning this is when a residents will be doing it, or is this the village doing the cleanup of their lots, of the lots we own?
It is a cleanup of our lots, but we are not prohibiting residents to not participate. If they want to participate, if there's a dumpster out there that will be available for them, they can use.
And so, and what other tools are we expecting? Are we expecting some other heavier kinds of things?
It's just like if we needed to use to cut debris, we'll use saws and stuff like that.
Okay.
We'll, yeah.
Okay.
And that will, if we have it, will depend on if that's the scope of work that we will be doing at that particular lot.
Okay.
Any other questions for Ms. Powdrill? I just had one question asked regarding the cleanup day. Is it going to be on specific to basically on Saturdays that they're going to do the cleanup?
That
You're
is
going in and out.
The volunteer, sorry. That's a good question. Volunteers are usually coming on, they're scheduled to come on Thursdays and Fridays. We have not scheduled Saturday cleanups.
Okay,
They're just Thursdays and Fridays, weather permitting.
okay.
And the time,
And I think that the next one, I think, is scheduled for April 22nd.
I think Ms. Mitchell mentioned the times.
12 to 3.
thank you.
Oh, right, thank you. Okay, so with that being said, is there, like, say if the residents want to volunteer, is there gonna be a sign up at the village?
What we will do, we're not doing whole village, so we're doing it by street. So what we'd like to
Okay.
do is develop flyers and then put the flyers out to just the residents on that particular street. So they'll have an opportunity to come out and participate. Or if we have a dumpster there, they'll have the ability to put some stuff in the dumpster if need be. So it's not like a blanket village cleanup day. We're doing it by streets that we have lots on. So that's our approach to it.
Like that.
But Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
so Ms. Powder, will someone from another street be able to bring?
I'm sorry, you went in and out.
Okay, will someone from another street, a resident from another street, be able to place something in a dumpster on the street that's being cleaned?
I don't think the village has the ability to control that. We won't
Okay.
be there if the dumpster is there, we can't control that.
Okay,
If we're
I'm just
if we're
kind of
not-
concerned about if no one is there, what goes in that dumpster? Or is it,
Mhm.
hazardous materials, or so the dumpster won't be manned, or at
What
3
what
o'clock
we-
will be rolled off?
What we can do is plan that accordingly and make that, and we'll put that on the flyer so the residents will know more
Okay.
details like that. And I
Thank
can come back to you before council and share those details with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. One more question for me. Okay, so as far as the dumpsters, are the dumpsters gonna be brought in each week, depending on which street, and then removed at the end of the day?
Thank you. It's a good question, Madam Mayor. It would depend on how full they get. I don't think that it would make sense if it's not full that we would just send it back an empty dumpster. So I think we would want to manage that to ensure that we've got the maximum use out of each dumpster that we use.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right. Any other question for Ms. Powdrill or any other question? Okay. If not, is there any miscellaneous business? Well, I guess if there's no miscellaneous business, is there a motion for adjourn? Oh, yes, Councilman Daniels?
No, just for the record on the last one, just for clarity purposes, I spoke with our law director, but just for clarity, since the high school will be doing some work with the cleanups, I will be, I guess, technically recusing myself for both that vote and item 1 as well. So it's just for clarity purposes, just because even with me and even our law director, we don't feel that there is any conflict of interest or things of that nature, but just to make sure that things are clean and clear. Just want to make sure that was, because I know when we started it off, I wasn't on. So just want to make sure that was cool, that the item 1 and on this, and then the last item, when we just spoke about, I'll just be recusing myself when it comes to voting.
Okay.
If I may add to that, Mayor, so
Yes, sir.
there's the legislation to accept the United Way grant for the $5,000 for the tool bank. My understanding from my discussion with Mr. Daniels is that the Heights movement isn't receiving any economic benefit from that legislation. They will be helping with coordination of the cleanup projects, getting volunteers, residents, etc. That being said, we always like to take the abundance of caution approach. And since we don't really see that as being controversial legislation, just in the interest of not giving any appearance of impropriety, and that Mr. Daniels is the executive director of the Heights movement, it was just deemed prudent that, he make a brief statement that since he is the executive director of the Heights movement, even though there's no economic benefit to the Heights movement, he's not going to vote on that particular legislation. The second item, which is the grant for the environmental study, if I understood our conversation correctly, Mr. Daniels, there is some economic benefit flowing back to the Heights movement on that. And that, kind of gets down to the next layer of the onion. And since Mr. Daniels is not simply a member of the Heights movement, but is also the executive director, again, not something we see as being controversial for council, but also kind of going down to that next level of analysis whenever we talk about a conflict, since there's a potential benefit to the Heights movement. Again, something that we discussed that it would make sense for him to just make a brief statement to that effect on the record, so it's in the minutes, and then recuse himself from any voting.
Okay. Yes, Vice Mayor.
Okay, I understand the second one, but the first one he has to recuse himself from because he just want to do that?
He doesn't have to. Technically, he could vote, but just in terms of an abundance of caution approach, and since it doesn't look like it's going to be a controversial piece of legislation, just don't stick your foot in the goo type of approach.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anything else? Any concerns, questions, statements? Okay. All right. Thank you, Councilman Daniels, for that, and Mr. Desai and Vice Mayor. All right. So if nothing further, is there a motion for adjournment of the Committee of the Whole?
So move.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it. See you at 7:30.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Are we still live
I
or
believe
do we
so.
got to go?
Mhm.
Is it Pavel?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we still live? I wasn't
ma'am.
sure if we had to go with the screen. Okay. All right. Then we'll start on back up. The Village of Lincoln Heights regular council meeting is now in session. Today's date is Monday, April 12th, 2021. The time is 7:31. Roll call, Ms. Randolph.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey,
Present.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Present.
Councilman Daronce Daniels,
Present.
Councilwoman Tanya Key,
Present.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell. Okay, I'll come back. She in there?
She just popped up.
Oh, you're muted. Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. See, her phone is muted. Okay, I'll come back. Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter. Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter. Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Okay, Mayor, I have no response from Ms. Jeter nor Ms. Baber. I'm sure they're here. But we do have 5 others who are present and there is a quorum.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Mitchell, could you give us the prayer?
Surely, Mayor. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all the mercy, blessing, and grace that you have provided us. Lord, we be in our midst as we deliberate on the items before us tonight. Heavenly Father, we ask that you bless our community. We ask that you bless all the partners that share in the vision of the Village of Lincoln Heights. This we ask in your son's name. Amen.
Amen.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay. Motion in order for acceptance of the agenda.
So
So moved.
moved.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it. Motion in order for filing of the journal for the Committee of the Whole meeting minutes from March 22nd, along with regular council meeting minutes from March 22nd, all regarding with any necessary corrections for both.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Okay, ayes have it. Announcements, Councilman Daniels.
Yes, ma'am. So let me just want to read it verbatim. It's by one of our young students, Mr. John Harris. I have this already up. So Mr. John Harris has been chosen as a recipient for the 2021 Anthony Munoz Foundation Straight A Scholarship. Obviously, one of our residents, one of our football players, and if you know John's story, he's more than deserving of this. So, yeah, you know, plenty of work that John has done in the community is more than well documented. But I just wanted to say, I'm more than proud of him, and I don't feel like I'm out of place to say that us as a council is more than proud of John Harris. So I just wanted to make that announcement.
Okay. All right, thank you. Let the record show that Councilwoman Childs Jeter is present.
And Councilwoman Phyllis Baber as well. They came in at the same time.
Okay, did she, okay,
Did she open up her mic?
her phone line?
Yeah, phone
Okay,
line. I know.
all right, okay, all right, thank you. All right, Councilwoman Baber, is there any announcement for you?
No announcements, Mayor. No announcements, Mayor.
All right, thank you. All right. Any announcement, Ms. Childs Jeter, Councilwoman?
None at this time.
Okay, all right. Any announcement, Councilwoman Tanya Key?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to announce to council and also the residents who have students at Princeton City Schools, there will be a resume building workshop held on Saturday, May 1st. It is from 11 a.m. until noon. There will be business partners who participate in our business partnership at Princeton that will be there helping our students build resumes. They will leave with a full portfolio of printed resume and the ability to upload digital resumes. These are for students ages 16 and up. We have lots of businesses who are looking to employ our students. So please take this opportunity. If you know of any students or you have students in your home that might be interested, it's only 1 hour, but it's a great opportunity to build a very good, sound resume for employment. A lot of students don't think they think because they've never had a job that they don't have skills that they've learned through school, through volunteering, through being part of the community. And we're going to help them translate what they have done to resume form and help them apply for some jobs. So if you know of any students, specifically our residents or any resident within the Princeton district, we'll be hosting that workshop. It is the pre-registration is required. Part of that is helping build that resume, and lunch will be provided for all the participants. So if you know of anybody, please spread that information. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, any questions for Ms. Key? Okay, all right. Ms. Councilwoman Mitchell, any announcements for you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Vice Mayor Stinson?
I have no announcements.
Okay, all right. All right, I don't have any at this time as well. Okay, next we're going to go into our speaker for today. Ms. Chandra Matthews Smith is the Chief Community Engagement Officer for United Way of Greater Cincinnati. How are you? Hello, how are you?
I am fantastic, Mayor. Thanks so much for having us. Just super excited to be here with you this evening to share a program that's personally near and dear to my heart. It's a partnership with the community and it's driven by families. So we know that it's a win-win. And I've had the pleasure of partnering with Mrs. Powdrill and meeting with her and meeting with Mr. Daniels and the Heights movement. Also, we're working with Success by Six at the elementary school. And so my role to the United Way is very new. I've been there for about a year, and our whole goal is to show up differently in communities, particularly communities that we typically have not shared a relationship with. And I've had a relationship with Lincoln Heights in the past. As a matter of fact, I owned a cleaning company, and we cleaned your offices for about a year and a half. That's when the jail was there. So it is just a pleasure to be back to offer any assistance that I can. And so I have a great leader with me tonight. And if we can share our screen, if we can get permission to do that, we're going to talk to you about what's called Project Lift. And it is a cutting edge program. We are in about 20 communities now. We have about 22 partners. A lot of non-traditional partners like faith-based community. We have some of the larger organizations. And so Janae Bradley, who is a rock star for the United Way, is going to share with you just a little bit about Project Lift and what we would love to come into your community and share with some of your residents. I did learn, though, however, about a month ago that about 5 or 6 of your residents are already enrolled in Project Lift. So they've gotten word and they're working with, one of them is working with Talbot House. One's working with, with Saving Grace Baptist Church. And so they're affiliated with some of our sponsor organizations. And so we're going to quickly walk you through a quick PowerPoint, and we want to leave time to entertain any questions that you might have. And so I know I saw Janae on the call. Janae, are you there?
I am here. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, so Pavel, are you able to make her a co-host so she can share a screen?
So as I'm waiting for the screen share capability, I'll just talk a little bit. And as soon as that does pop up, I will share the slide deck with you. So as Chandra mentioned, my name is Janae Bradley. I'm a senior manager on our community impact team at the United Way of Greater Cincinnati, and get the unique opportunity to lead up Project Lift as it's transitioned from Hamilton County JFS to United Way. And I do now have the capability to share my screen, so I will do that right now. Can everyone see my screen okay? Perfect. So I'll be sharing a little bit about what Project Lift is and our current results to date. So Project Lift at its core is a unique public-private partnership that seeks to remove barriers that families face to securing sustainable income and achieving financial stability. The way that it works is that families partner with sponsor organizations or organizations that they know and trust in a way that's flexible, tailored, family-driven to get them on that path to greater financial stability. In working with a sponsor organization, the family gains access to critical short-term assistance, as well as support, coaching, workforce development, and other resources provided within the Project Lift network. And in return, the Project Lift families share information about household composition and income. Our hope is to be able to use the aggregate of the information of the families participating in Project Lift to apply those learnings and that information so that we can help families even outside of the Project Lift infrastructure in ways that are systemic and long-term. In Project Lift, there are 4 primary guiding principles. The first is family-driven solutions. Unlike some spaces where an organization tells a family what they need, the flip is actually true. A family identifies their long-term goals and what barriers they're experiencing, and the sponsor organization supports them in alleviating those barriers. Lean administrative cost has been a big tenet of Project Lift, where the majority, a significant amount of the money that comes into Project Lift goes right back out of the door to support families. Funds are used on behalf of families. So the language that we use is removing barriers that families face. So if a family, for instance, or if an individual wants to participate in a workforce development program, Project Lift supports that person getting into the program and paying for that expense. So the funds are spent on behalf of the family. And finally, maximize federal, state, and local public dollars. So that's leveraging resources from entities like Hamilton County with their prevention, retention, and contingency dollars so that we can preserve that more flexible private funding where it's most needed. In Project Lift, there are 5 key strategies. The one that's perhaps talked about the most is the wraparound funding. So that's providing access to flexible funds and supports to meet the needs of families as they exist today. So that's providing funding for support like personal automobile transportation, housing, job training programs, etc. But in addition to that immediate wraparound support that's really very flexible, there's also the flexible service coordination component. And that's all about making the system of care that families have to navigate smaller. So instead of a family having to figure out where to go to next or what organization may be able to provide them with, say, legal support, we're connected in with a network of organizations where we can do an easy, warm handoff to that organization to provide support. Additionally, employment and engagement is a major component of Project Lift, led up by the Workforce Innovation Center at the Cincinnati Chamber, where they're really looking to be a one-stop shop for employer solutions. So supporting employers to be the best employers of folks in our communities, making connections between those job training programs, folks looking for employment, and those employers to make sure that those roles are filled. Transportation solutions is perhaps one of the most exciting parts of the Project Lift infrastructure, and perhaps one of the most challenging. So we recognize that there's a huge transportation challenge in our community, and we're seeking to figure out what are ways to solve that challenge, both in terms of affordable, accessible personal automobiles and access to public transportation. And all of this is connected into our community engagement and outreach strategy. So ensuring that we're building trust in communities, and that the folks that could most benefit from this program are, one, informed that it exists, and two, are able to really shape what it looks like, so that we're making sure that we're meeting the unique needs that exist in communities. So currently in the Project Lift structure, we have 22 sponsor organizations. So these are the organizations that families work closely with. And our 22 represent a myriad of different structures, ranging from the large, well-established social service organizations like your Free Store Food Banks and your Talbert Houses, but also some smaller faith-based organizations like the Islamic Education Council, Madisonville Mission Ministries, and Whitewater Crossing Christian Church, recognizing that families have different types of connections with different types of organizations, and we wanted to represent a diversity of sponsor organizations in our work. So as we think about eligibility for Project Lift, there are 5 primary eligibility requirements in the way that it currently exists. 1 is that a person has to live in Hamilton County. 2, they must be responsible for at least 1 child, either physically, legally, or financially. So this also includes non-custodial parents. 3, the person must be working or on a viable path to employment. 4, they must agree to participate in Project Lift for at least a year, but preferably 3 years. As we see, Project Lift is really a long-term program and not like an immediate emergency assistance program. We want folks that are really bought in and are going to go through this journey with their sponsor organization. And then finally, families have to have a household income below 200% of the federal poverty level. And to give an idea of what that looks like, the federal government sets the federal poverty guidelines each year. We fit in the guidelines for the 48 contiguous United States, and these are the guidelines for 2021. So for a household of 4, 200% of the federal poverty level is $53,000 a year, or $4,400 a month. And this is the target population that we're looking to support through Project Lift, folks at these incomes and below. As we look at Project Lift, which launched in April of 2019, so far we have had a little over 900 participants enroll in Project Lift, which includes 935 unique addresses, over 2,000 children, and 200 other adults. In that wraparound funding piece, we've been able to deploy just under $1 million, which doesn't even include the public dollars that we've been able to leverage through Project Lift, which have been critical, especially in light of the COVID-19 public health crisis. But it's not only about the monetary piece. We've also been able to provide access to critical programming, including the Clearing Legal Hurdles program out of Legal Aid, as well as several job training programs, which have supported people in gaining employment or re-employment since COVID-19. As we look at the families that we serve, while we still have a high representation of folks within the city of Cincinnati proper, we are happy to announced that 1 in 3 of our families served by Project Lift actually live in the county outside of the city. And this heat map shows you that the darker blue are the communities that have the most number of Project Lift participants, and the lighter blue, a lesser number of Project Lift participants. So we know that there are communities where we can do a lot more work, including in Lincoln Heights and the surrounding communities. As we look at success for Project Lift, the 3 primary measures that we're looking at currently are percentage of families or households increasing their income by 20% or more, the percentage of families or households with 2 significant barriers removed, so meaning access to 2 unique services or supports, and finally, the percentage of households or families who've increased their income by at least 1 federal poverty level interval, so moving from 100% of the federal poverty level to 150 or 150 to 200. And while the public health crisis, COVID-19, has set us back, we've still seen some really strong results where with the data that we have on hand today, a little over 16% of our households have reported an increase of at least 20% of their income, including 16.6% of our African-American households, who represent the vast majority of the households are enrolled in Project Lift. 43% of our households have at least 2 significant barriers removed, and about 1 in 10 of our households have increased their income by 1 federal poverty level. When we talk about removing those significant barriers, some of those categories include education and training, including certification programs, employment-related expenses like uniforms and transportation to jobs or resume support, financial coaching, housing and utility costs, including for homeowners and for renters, legal, non-criminal penalty support, dependent care, food, identification, service referrals, and transportation. So we're really looking to support the broad array of family needs and support them along their very specific goals to self-sufficiency. I know I've said a lot very fast, but that is what I have to present to you today, and we open the floor for questions if you have any.
Okay.
I just wanted to add, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to add that we've been in conversations with Lincoln Heights Outreach Initiative. And so our whole goal is to make sure that families are able to access the resources. We know that people, in order to get out of poverty, they need additional basic need items. And that's what this program is all about. We did put Lincoln Heights Outreach Initiative in contact with another sponsor agency that's been around doing this work, a non-traditional organization, for about a year, just so that they can have an idea of the kind of supports that it takes to run this kind of program. And I've been talking to Ms. Powdrill as well as to Mr. Daniels about we want it to look very different in Lincoln Heights. And so I'm working internally with my organization at the United Way to put a proposal together. Project Lift is great. But we were thinking about you all might want Project Heights. So we wanted to look very unique to your to your community, to ensure that the needs of the families are driving whatever we do. And so we don't know what that's going to look like in terms of how much we're going to implement. We may say that we want to support Project Heights with the tune of a certain amount of dollars starting off for 2021. But one thing that we know is that once families get connected to this program, it really is about them saying, this is what I need. This is how I want to see my family thrive. And our whole goal is to make sure that we're connecting them with people that they know and trust to drive it. And so we're not putting financial resources directly in families' hands, but we're putting it in the hands of the organization. For example, we pay a lot of rent. That's a big barrier for people, is that they've lost jobs, they're delinquent in their payments, and so we pay a lot of rent. Once we maximize community action agency resources and the county's resources, we're able to use those public dollars to provide rent. We're able to do car repairs. There are just a number of barriers that typically families would not have the means to take care of. We can use Project Lift as a resource for that. we know we shared an awful lot, but we wanted to make sure that we got in front of you. So as you heard people talking about resources that families are accessing, first of all, we want you to know about them. And if you know families, refer them. But secondly, we want your support, because I think it is a project that you'll find meaningful. We know that people are going to get employed. Once people are getting employed, they're able to take care of their families. They're able to pay their taxes. They're able to do a number of things. And so that's our goal, to make sure that we're not putting a Band-Aid on a hemorrhage. We really want to make sure that this is a long-term relationship with the community, primarily with the families. So I'll stop there and take any questions.
Any questions from Council? Vice Mayor?
It sounds awesome. It sounds like an opportunity for residents who may not know which direction to go, to have a little encouraging counselor or somebody to walk them through the process of getting back on their feet. Yeah, I like that idea. And I think it's important that we teach people to be self-sufficient. And I think
we all need, and one thing we need is support along the way sometime. So I can't go and sit in a class if my rent is not paid or my utilities are not taken care of. And so we do walk them through those basic needs. And it's a program for those families who want to do, who want to have it, who want to be employed, who have minor children, who want to make a difference. And that's what this is all about. It's not a social service agency. That's what it's not. Hey, how are you?
Chandra, it's Tefra with Lincoln Heights.
Great to see you, Tefra.
Hi. So I wanted
Okay, so wait a minute, hold on, ladies, hold on. I gotta introduce you if you don't mind. All right, okay, so Miss Tefra Fields from Lincoln Heights Outreach. I know you had noted, raised your hand, so the floor is yours now. What did you want? You had something you wanted to say.
Oh, yes. I was excited to hear about this opportunity from United Way and Ms. Chandra a few weeks ago, and the approach regarding the partnerships in the community. So I guess I just have a quick question about how, and you may have already stated this, the next step, because you did mention that we had met with a partner agency, which was very helpful and great, and I look forward to probably partnering in the future, but just kind of what would be our next step? Is that something that I would need to contact United Way about, or what is the next step there?
Yeah, that ball is really in my court at this point. We actually are working on our strategic plan, and it really is about identifying the amount of money that's going to be put towards Lincoln Heights for 2021. And so we're working internally with that, and you'll hear something from us very soon.
Okay.
All right. Was there anyone else had a question for Ms. Chandra Smith? Matthew Smith?
I don't have a question. I just had a comment, because I was going to ask about, is this going to be sort of a quasi social service agency? And I'm glad to hear what you said. So you really answered my question. So that's great.
Hi, Miss Laverne. Great to see you.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I know there's a lot of people on the call now, so I know you couldn't see everybody, but I have my hand up. I just wanted to say thank you. Oh no, it's no worries, Madam Mayor, at all. I just wanted to say thank you to United Way. This is very exciting. I think I had never heard about Project Lift before, so it's very exciting. I'm learning more about it, that our residents get the opportunity to learn more about it. And, I'm thankful that we already have some residents that participate. Looking forward to being able to connect more residents, especially since we can do things right here locally with some of our local partners. So this is very exciting to us. We thank you for considering us and looking to make that strategic plan about us.
Exactly. All right. Anyone else? Okay. Well, thank you so much. And we're looking forward to talking back with you. I know Ms. Powdrill. Thank you, Ms. Powdrill, for bringing her to us today to speak before council. So we're looking to do some great things, and we'll see you in the near future.
Yes, thank you
Thank
all.
you,
Have a
Jean.
good evening.
Thank you, Gina, for the presentation.
Thanks, Janae.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
All right. All right. All right. Okay. Next would be hearing from the residents. I'm not sure if we had, I didn't see anything.
No, no, Mayor. Madam
All
Mayor.
right. Okay, and next we would go straight into the regular agenda. Communications to council from our clerk of council, Lisa Randolph.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to let everyone know that the Planning Commission did meet on the 8th, this past Thursday, April the 8th. And it was kind of an intro where we had the Heights movement talk about the innovation hub that they would like to have out here. There's going to be another meeting. It was originally scheduled for this coming Thursday. However, we've, after talking to Mrs. Lindsay, we moved it out to Thursday, the 22nd of April at 6:30, and it's going to be via Zoom. That will give us more time to gather information. We're anticipating receiving information from the Heights movement that was discussed in that last meeting. So that's basically in a nutshell, I think. Did I miss anything, Mayor?
That's it. It was a great meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, it was great, and it was nice to see the Planning Commission. They are very excited about the opportunity to hear more from the Heights movement regarding the Innovation Hub, and talking with Mr. Easley. So looking forward to that. And council, we will be making sure that you all are included in the email chain as well. Email, I mean the from ICRC, the Zoom link. That's what I meant to say. All right, thank you, Ms. Randolph. Okay. Communications from the mayor regarding the monthly March 2020 bank reconciliation. At this time, it was not available. We did have some adjustments that had needed to be made. So I will be getting that information from Ms. Rita and our Ms. Vicky Bowers that is doing our clerk of court. So we will be having that information at the next council meeting as far as the report for the month of March. Okay. Also, while I'm thinking about that, I do know when we have our finance meeting from our previous meeting, we had talked about looking at how we could go about making that position as a clerk of court a full-time position with benefits. So that information will be given at the next finance meeting, and hopefully we'll have legislation for that at the next council meeting. Okay, and that's all I have. Communications from the village manager, Ms. Joyce Powdrill.
Would you all like for me to not show my face so you can you hear me better now, or should I do it the other way?
I hear you well.
Okay, I just have a few items since our last meeting. The land use study that we're having will be completed within 6 months. We discussed that. I'd like to personally thank the village of Silverton on behalf of the village of Lincoln Heights. While we're in the process of reimagining our public works department, they were so gracious to come out last week and help us out with 5 Department of Public Works and spend 3 hours assisting us. So I really want to thank them for being great peer partners in the community and helping us as through restaffing up of our Public Works Department. And speaking of Public Works Department, you will have a report council or mailbox tomorrow. This document serves as 2. It it's in response to one of the duties that the village manager's employment contract is to give you an organization structure within 100 days. That is inputted into that report, as well as how I would like to reimagine the Public Works Department for the Village of Lincoln Heights. I'd like to announce that Duke Energy made a $5,000 sponsorship to the Diamond Jubilee. I'd like to thank United Way for their $5,000 contribution to the tool bank, and the Village of Lincoln Heights will serve as a sub-recipient of that grant. We have hired, I don't know if I mentioned this in the last meeting, but we've hired a code enforcer. He started last Monday. We are very excited to have him on board. We will begin to draft door knockers that we would like to give out to the residents to know, let them know that code enforcement is coming, and you'll hear more about his process and the work that he's doing to clear up the codes and marrying the international property maintenance with what we already have on file with the village. And those are the only items that I have. Does anyone have questions for me?
Ms. Powdrill, did you want to give his name?
I'm sorry. His name is Derek Williams.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Powdrill? Okay. All right. So if there's nothing further, I guess it was just basically an update. I usually make a motion if it was a report, but we're going to move on. What's just an update. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Next will be our committee reports. We have Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter for the Safety Standing Committee.
The Safety Committee did meet via Zoom on Monday, March the 15th, 2020 at 5:32 p.m. All members were present. Others present was Councilwoman Tanya Key, Councilman Daronce Daniels, Village Manager Powdrill, Assistant Manager Donna Pope, and Lieutenant Jeremy DePope, the Hamilton County Sheriff. No report was presented because for the fire department, Chief Amos was not present. For the sheriff department or our police department, the criminal reports for February 2021, February 4th, 2 teenagers in vehicles on Van Buren Avenue were shot, then fled. On the 23rd of February, improper discharge of firearm near Lincoln Heights Elementary School. February 28th, firearms recovery, one of which was stolen from an earlier armed robbery on Van Buren Avenue. There were 20 criminal reports, only one of those arrested was from the Village of Lincoln Heights. Others were from Sharonville, Silverton, Cheviot, Blue Ash, and Fairmount. Of course, I put an emphasis on only the one from Lincoln Heights to let the residents know that everyone, the other 19 did not live here. The sheriff has a domestic violence enhanced response team is scheduled to begin on April the 21st. That was discussion with Lieutenant DePotley about best practices concerning emergencies in the community and how to address what steps to take when there is a school lockdown. For residents, residents can call the Hamilton County Sheriff Patrol headquarters at 513-825-1500. Click option 1 to ask or request being placed on vacation watch list. Okay. see a more detailed report of the sheriff's monthly, what happened during the month of February, you can see that report. But Councilman Daronce Daniels updated the committee about Brian Earl, University of Cincinnati, visit to obtain audio sounds from the gun range. Village Manager Powdrill gave updates on the COPS program, sheriff engagement in the village of Lincoln Heights, possible Wi-Fi within the community, and opportunities. Opportunities for participation in future safety training. You can also see minutes for additional information. No action items, no recommendation, meeting adjourned at 6:27 p.m. That is my report, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Ms. Childs Jeter? Yes, Councilman Daniels?
Of course, just a comment. Just want to thank Ms. Childs Jeter for that statement. And I guess for the part on how only one person from Lincoln Heights was arrested when it comes to controlling the narrative. But yeah, only one person out of those 20. I think it's important as we continue to control the narrative about the folks that are here in our community and how we do respect the law. So I just want to thank Ms. Childs Jeter for saying that in her report.
I want to thank Lieutenant DePotley for putting that information out. I think we requested the breakdown as to what was happening out here in our village with any types of crime. Thank you, Councilman Daniels.
Vice Mayor, did you have something to say? Oh, okay. You just in agreement. That's very good to hear. Only one person from Lincoln Heights, as always. Because we are trying to change the narrative of Lincoln Heights, and we are moving in good strides to do that. So I'm glad to hear that. If there's nothing further, is there a motion to accept Ms. Childs Jeter's safety report?
Motion.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Okay. All right. Next would be our Finance Committee report from Ms. Laverne Mitchell, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mayor. Our Finance Committee met virtually on March 15th following the Safety Committee. All of our members were present, as well as Councilwoman Baber, our Finance Manager Poe, the Manager Powdrill, and Tax Administrator Ms. Peterson. We discussed the overtime issues. We discussed the Lincoln Heights budget that needs still to be confirmed for the actual expenses and sponsors, which we heard tonight that we do have one from Duke. The tax administrator clarified House Bill 157. We talked about the changing status of the clerk of court position, and we talked about the impact of COVID-19 on the tax revenue. And we also got our dates for the 2022 tax budget. Our financial statement, the February cash beginning balance was $1,703,713.39. Our month-to-date revenue for February was $86,361. $86,301.13. Our month-to-date expenses was $193,257.34. Our February ending balance was $1,620,074.23. Then once we deducted the outstanding checks from the previous month, our reconciled bank balance was $1,463,100.48. Our tax revenue for February was about $37,000. And we noticed that the residential filing was down by 50%, as well as the withholding and the business taxes. So the total decrease was about 16.3%. Our action items Mayor Mumphrey will have the OML, Ohio Municipal League newsletter sent to all council members. And our recommendation was to have council accept the February 2021 finance statement. That ends my report.
Okay. Any questions for Councilwoman Mitchell? Are there no questions? Motion to accept the report.
Motion
So
to
moved.
accept. Second.
Ms. Lisa, did you get that? That moved and second?
Yes.
Okay. In a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, there's no nays. Ayes have it. Thank you. Good report. Okay. Any old business? Okay. Is there no old business? We're gonna go straight into new business. Motion in order for resolution number 2021 R4, resolution awarding Stephen Avenue and McIntyre Street Improvement Project to Barrett Paving Materials.
Motion to hear by title only.
Second.
It's been moved and second to read by title only of resolution 2021 R4. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Yes.
Thank you. Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes. The motion does pass. Village of Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Ohio, resolution number 2021-R-4, resolution awarding Stephen Avenue and McIntyre Street Improvement Project to Barrett Paving Materials.
Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Motion in order to suspend the rules of resolution 2020 R4.
Motion.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
You have 7 aye votes. The motion does pass.
Motion in order for passage of resolution 2020 R4.
Motion.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call, Ms. Randolph.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Yes.
Thank you. Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
You have 7 aye votes. The motion does pass.
Motion in order for the emergency clause of resolution 2020 R4, 2021 R4, I'm sorry.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Thank you. Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes. The motion does pass.
Okay. Motion in order for resolution number 2021 R5, resolution awarding Matthews Drive and Taylor Court improvement projects to John R. Jurgensen.
Motion to read by title only.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved in second to read by title only of resolution 2020 R5. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes. The motion does pass. Village of Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Ohio, resolution number 2021-R-5. Resolution awarding Matthews Drive and Taylor Court improvement project to John R. Jurgensen.
Thank you.
Get back over there. I don't need
All
that.
right. Motion in order. No, I'm sorry. Is there any question? Any questions? Okay. Motion in order to suspend the rules of resolution 2020 R5.
Motion to suspend.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes. The motion does pass.
Motion in order for passage of resolution 2021 R5.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Sorry about that. Yes.
thank you. Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes. The motion does pass.
Motion in order for the emergency clause of resolution 2021 R5.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes. The motion does pass.
Thank you. Motion in order for resolution number 2021 R6. Resolution imposing a moratorium on the sale of village-owned real estate.
Motion to hear by title only.
Second.
It's been moved in second to read by title only of resolution 2021 R6. Roll call, Ms. Randolph.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber, Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Oh, yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell, Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes, the motion passed. Village of Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Ohio, resolution number 2021-R-6. Resolution imposing a moratorium on the sale of village-owned real estate.
Any questions? Any questions? Okay. All right. Motion in order to suspend the rules of resolution 2021-R-6.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes. The motion carries.
Motion to receive for passage.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes. The motion passed.
Motion to accept the emergency clause.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
7 aye votes. Motion passed.
Motion in order for resolution number 2021-R-7, resolution accepting grant proceeds from United Way to use for renting tools from the tool bank for community cleanup projects and appropriating the grant funds.
Motion to hear by title only.
Second.
It's been moved in second to read by title only of resolution 2020-R-7. Roll call, Ms. Randolph.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes. 1 who has abstained. The motion does pass.
Okay.
Village of Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Ohio, resolution number 2021-R-7. Resolution accepting grant proceeds from United Way to use for renting tools from the tool bank for our community cleanup projects and appropriating the grant funds.
Any questions? Any questions? Okay.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
It's been moved in second to suspend the rules of resolution 2021-R-7. Roll call, Ms. Randolph.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell. Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
I said yes. Okay.
Sorry.
I'm sorry,
No,
you
maybe
can't
I
hear
couldn't
me.
hear you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree.
Yes.
All right, we have 6 aye votes, 1 who has abstained. We do have a quorum, the motion passed.
Okay.
Motion to receive for passage.
Second.
Oh, goodness.
It's been moved in second to receive up for passage of resolution 2021 R7. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree.
Yes.
Okay, we have 6 aye votes, 1 who has abstained. The motion does carry.
Motion to accept the
Pass.
emergency clause.
Second.
It's been a long day.
It's been moved in second for the emergency clause of resolution 2021 R7. Roll call.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilman Daronce Daniels.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree.
Yes.
6 aye votes, 1 who has abstained. The motion passed.
Thank you very much. Miscellaneous business.
Yes, Mayor, I have some miscellaneous business. Okay. I would like to make a motion that we authorize the mayor to sign a support letter for the Episcopal grant proposal for environmental study with St. Simon and Creation Care.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor? Oh, no, we're gonna have a vote. It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Mayor, before we vote, I want to say that I'm going to recuse myself because I am chair of the church board and I will be submitting the grant. So I'm going to recuse myself. So I will not be voting.
All right, Councilman Daniels, I saw your hand up.
And I'll be recusing myself as well. In fact, I'm executive director for the Arts Movement, and we potentially working with this project as well.
Okay, all right, thank you. All
Mayor,
right.
do you want to give a brief explanation of what this letter of support is for and what the grant is for?
Yeah, I can do that. The support letter, that is a request for a letter of support for the Episcopal grant proposal or environmental study. The grant is entailing that request for environmental studies of lead, other toxic metals, and harmful sound exposures from the Cincinnati Police Firing Range, associated with ideas to equip the community to protect children's mental health and development. Also, the grant is going to entail a summer camp in 2021 that will be held. It needs to be discussed with parents and counselors that will be coming out of this. Among the possibilities for the camp will be St. Monica's, Lincoln Heights Missionary Baptist Church, Teakin Farm in Mount Healthy, and the Episcopal Diocese Proctor Conference Center. And also it mentions also maybe Bethany School in Glendale to be determined. The scientists are donating their expertise, so the major project expenses, including testing supplies and lab analysis and mental health first and training of 100 people, stipends for camp counselors. The Heights Movement is partnering with us, but not requesting any money. Most of this could come from Episcopal funder and some from match by churches. And this support letter was given by Ariel Miller, Outreach Co-Chair of Ascension and Holy Trinity Episcopal Church in Wyoming. Okay. All right. If there's nothing further, roll call, Ms. Randolph.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Yeah, you were already on.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tanya Key.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 5 aye votes. The motion passed.
Okay. All righty. Is there anything else?
Yes, Mayor, I offer motion that we accept the February 2021 finance statement.
Second.
Been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. I think she said aye too. Also, if there's nothing further, is there a motion for adjournment?
So
So
move for
moved.
adjournment.
Second.
It's been moved in second and all are in favor?
Sure.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Everyone have a good night.
Have a
Good
great
meeting.
evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Right.
Thank you.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Right.
Get out of here.